Hey, you're listening to the Smoke Meat Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Pittman. Today we have got an amazing guest. We got Drew from the band Felicty. Man, they are just great. I listened to them, stumbled across them the other day on TikTok, and I'm the guy that's had the same playlist for 30 years, and I started listening. I'm like, I'm digging this. And I reached out to them, and they answered me, and we just kind of got together, and I think y'all enjoy our talk here, so we're going to be doing a lot more episodes coming up. I'm coming off my hiatus. It's been a good while since I've done any episodes, but that's okay. I'm back. So sit back and enjoy here on Smoked Meat.
So how the hell you doing today, Drew?
What's up? Good to see you, man. They're new TikTok friends. We get to hang out on a podcast now. Great to meet you.
Oh yeah, same here, man. Same here. I know I told you I'm that guy that's had that same playlist forever, and I listen to y'all, and I'm like, damn, this is something different. It's something new, and it's something that throws back too. So
yeah,
I like it.
I think this kind of like what is kind of like special about music in general when you can make something that sounds new but also familiar. I think that's when you're really onto something. And that's kind of what we try to do. We just call ourselves a rock band. Everyone wants to kind of have like these, like subgenres of music, like got metal and death metal and heavy metal and black metal, whatever it is, right? But metalcore. But like for us, it's just we want to be a rock band. We grew up on rock music, so we have a little bit of something for everybody. So I'm stoked that you dug it.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of different things. I mean, my playlist got everything from Wayne Newton to Metallica to George Jones. You name it, it's on there.
Me too. It's all over the place.
And I hate when people just. I dig it. You like what you like, but when you're just a metal fan, it's just country. It just is. One thing this show has taught me, because I've interviewed a lot of great musicians, and I've gotten some really good new music from it.
Yeah.
Just by opening my mind to that.
It's also just like music is just such a hard thing because like as an artist, when we put ourselves out there on TikTok, we put ourselves out there, on all these platforms, and for everyone who's people like you who finds it and likes it, and for the like majority of it's like overwhelmingly like positive, right? But there's always the people who don't like it, and they can be very vocal as well. And it's so hard to me to think about because I couldn't imagine just tearing down another artist because I didn't personally like their art. I think like art, any form, whether it be music or whatever, is all so subjective. Like some people love horror movies. Some people hate horror movies. Some movie could be your favorite movie all time. Other people don't like it. If you look at, go to a museum, you look at a painting, it could make absolute no sense to you. And you could be like, I don't get it. And then some other person could say, I'll pay $2 million for that painting, right? So it's like, that's what I think is so magical about all forms of art is that how subjective it is. And sometimes when you're more people like it than dislike it, I guess is when you're kind of onto something.
Yeah, and that's I totally agree with you about art. Where I consider this an art because it is. I mean, conversation. I could get on here and ask you the same things you've been asked 100 times. You could do it with your eyes closed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just I'm making friends with a bunch of people listening.
Yeah.
And I went totally blank, but that's okay because that happens. I don't edit anything out of this show, by the way.
Yeah, you're all good, man. But, it's the same thing. Like you're doing it because you love it. Like whether you it's the same thing with us. Like we plan to be the biggest band in the world, but no matter what happens, we're doing it because we love it. And we when we first started this band, we was like, hey, it would be cool to be able to play a show someday. Like that's the goal, right? And then when you accomplish that, it's just like the next one and the next one. And I think there'll always be a next one. If you get to be Metallica, I'm sure you talk to them, they feel like there's a lot they still want to accomplish. They want to be Led Zeppelin or the Beatles. They want to have like that level of maybe respect, fame, reputation, whatever it might be. But it's kind of like always that next, having that next goal, and that's what keeps you going and doing it. And you have to love it, or there's no point doing it at all. So we definitely don't do it for the money. We don't do it for any of that fame or fortune or anything like that. We just do it because we love it, and we grew up all wanting to be in a band. Being in a band, like that's the thing. It's like playing on a sports team. It's like a brotherhood. Sure, like it's great to be able to play a sport and win a championship someday, but you do it for the because you love it, right? You're not just doing it to win and fame and fortune. You're doing it because you love to play or you love the sport or whatever it might be. And I feel like being in a band's a lot very similar to that, group of guys who are just, have each other's backs, who are in it together, in the shit together. And when you're on the road and it's a tough time, you and your boys got each other's back, and you go out and on stage, and then every single thing else in the world happening in your life just goes away for half hour, whatever it is you're playing. And there's nothing like that.
Yeah, there's a thing I call when I get on stage, kind of getting in that zone. You get in that little pocket where it's funny as a comedian. When I get on stage, I want to hear the laughs. That's what fuels me. But I know I'm in that pocket when I don't hear them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going and doing my thing, and it's the best feeling in the world.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I remembered my thought about talking about the show being art. I've never monetized it, which if anybody out there wants to pay me a couple of million, I'll take the Joe Rogan money.
Yeah, exactly.
I am a whore, but I do it this is kind of my therapy, because I've been a paramedic for so long that my bucket's full, and this helps get that bucket emptied.
It's tough. That's got to be mentally exhausting. It's got to be, physically, mentally, emotionally draining of a gig. So I get it, man. Like, have whatever that outlet is that can be kind of be your therapy. For us, it's music, and we feel it, man. There'll be times where, as a band, most of us live in Orlando, Florida. Our drummer lives in Mobile, Alabama. So, where we get to all play together and jam. Sometimes there'll be a couple months where we're not able to. And so the rest of us, Mike, our bass player, Damien, our singer, and I play guitar. We won't have our drummer with us, and we'll have a lot of stuff we have to do. Maybe it's, projects we're working on, or maybe we just have to be making content for TikTok and promoting something. So that's where our time and energy goes. But if we do that too much and we don't actually get together and jam and play, it really affects our mental state. Our mental, it is like therapy for us. When we're finally just playing our instruments together and we're in the same room and there's the energy, all of a sudden it's this release of oh my God, I feel so much better now. And whatever it is in your life that kind of you can get that from, you got to chase it and do it and follow it as far as you can and keep doing it as long as you can, and not try to have a goal or anything else in mind. Because, if we're able to do that and we're able to get that sense of, gratification from it, and then other people like it too and are willing to come pay to come see us, then that's when you got a winning formula. So
yeah, definitely. And keep it fun, because when you don't, it turns into a job. And this is the first episode. This is how much I like y'all's music. The first episode I've done in over a year.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
well,
because I was doing
honored to be here.
Yeah, I was doing 5 or 6 of them a week, and it gets tough. And I had a lot of great guests. I did a lot of great musicians. Kenny Aronoff, great drummer, has been with everybody. He actually sang 2 of my favorite drum fills to me on the show. He did Blaze of Glory and Jack and Diane.
That's crazy. I know that one from Jack and Diane. That's an iconic drum fill right there.
Yeah, and I'm getting goosebumps on my arms now.
Because the drum fill starts with the song, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yep. And he actually sent me a signed drum head and a set of sticks he signed.
Really cool.
Which was pretty cool.
I watched him on a documentary, I think, and he was a big part of it. It was I think a drumming documentary, and he was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool.
Yeah, I mean, he is a great guy. And another guy, Leland Sklar, he's been playing bass since before I was born. He's been on tour since 1970.
That's tough.
And he's I think it's up to 4,000 albums now.
Wow.
He is the most awesome guy. He wrote a book. And his book is just pictures, pretty much. But it's all celebrities who have been shooting him a bird. So I actually sent him a big flag with there's a black background with a bird.
That's crazy.
And it's hanging in his house now.
what do you think is the biggest act he's played bass for?
He played. You remember the Phil Collins "But Seriously" tour?
Mm-hmm.
The dude with the long white beard, that's Lee.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So playing for Phil Collins, that's insane.
Yeah, Jackson Brown, you name it, he's played with them.
Cool, really cool.
The studio band, the Immediate Family, that's his group.
Got you. Okay.
So they're kind of like the newer version of the Wrecking Crew. You know, they're the go-tos.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and just Felicity's going to be that big one day. I feel it. I really do. And I don't blow smoke up nobody's ass.
Hey, I appreciate it. And if you hate it, like, we can take it at this point. We've been a band long enough that we understand that, like I always say, it's like not everyone's gonna like what we do, and that's okay. But even if they comment and they say they hated it, I usually say, you know what, like, no matter what, you took like 10 seconds on a whatever we'll call it, smaller, undiscovered, underrated new artist, right? You took 10 seconds and actually gave it a chance, and more people need to do that. More people, just like you said, we talk about, they stick to the same music they've always been listening to, and they never really even give new stuff a chance. They just blow right past it. But even if you didn't like it, I appreciate you giving it a chance, and I wish there was more people like you. If, like, you're that type of person who even goes on and comments whether you don't like something, but it's at the end of the day, you gave us a chance, and that's all we need. We need more people who will just give smaller bands like us a chance.
Well, hopefully people will listen to this and y'all are going to explode, because, see, right now I'm in the top 5% of all shows globally, and I've charted in 22 countries.
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
So hopefully it'll explode. And that would be just totally awesome.
That would be sick for both of us.
And I got a question for you.
Yep.
Did you get your quote from Charlie?
We did. We did get a quote. We haven't gotten him on the phone, but we do have a quote. He dug the song. He liked it. We got a dope quote. I don't know if it was actually written from him or his publicist, was like, what do you think of this? And he signed off on it. But we did get the thumbs up. I mean, we talked to his agent, and she helped facilitate some stuff. And then eventually the inside story that people don't really know is eventually, I guess, his actual manager reached out to us on TikTok from just a TikTok account he had just kind of created. So he wasn't like, all he did, he has it to kind of like keep an eye on stuff, not really to like post or make content or anything like that. But he got in touch with us, and we're like, no way, this is actually the guy. Why would he message us on TikTok? This makes no sense. And then he was like, here, this is my phone number, and we connected with him, and he was like, listen, like, I would love to see if we could do more, but this is probably the most we can do now is give him a quote, because Charlie's kind of like behind the scenes right now. He's prepping on some type of comeback. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think they're making Netflix is doing something with him, or a documentary or something. And then he's kind of just like staying out of the public spotlight until then. So we were just like, hey, if that happens and you guys need a theme song for it, we got the one. We got the song.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that was really crazy.
Nice. Yeah, that, as a matter of fact, that was the video that got me on y'all's page and started me watching.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people saw that, which was crazy, because we were just like trying to come up with ideas. As musicians, like, we also have to be, like, we call it now, it's like you have to be like an entertainer more than just like a musician. Like, we have not just entertaining live, like we have to be entertaining 24/7. Find ways where we're like, what's a cool, unique way we could kind of like try to get people to check out the song and want to hear the song. And we're like, what if we tried cold calling whatever numbers we can find online to try to get in touch and see if we can get Charlie Sheen's phone number. And the video series can just be us failing over and over and over again, right? But then the first one we tried, you saw the result of it. It was like a 20-minute long conversation, and we were like talking to his actual agent, and she was the absolute sweetheart about it and was like really wanting to try to help us. And we were like, well, it's kind of, the series is kind of out the window now, because we kind of accomplished it. But I think it's just a lesson for everybody, is like, shoot your shot. For you and your show, you might as well just reach out to whoever, because you never know. Like, they might be like, sure, let's do it. And so many people are afraid to just do that, to just shoot their shot.
Yeah, I used to use publicists to get my guests on, and like I said, I've had some really good guests. I've had some I would have never thought to try and have on, but they turned out good. And I like to think that I helped launch a couple of people.
Cool.
But I decided one day, I said, I love, and I still talk to them a lot, but I've decided I'm getting people that I want to get, and I'm going to get them. Like, I got Kyle Petty, the race car driver. I had him. He actually knows exactly where my house is from being down here so much over the years. I've had Dale Dye, the guy who was the technical advisor for Platoon and has been for every military movie since then.
Really cool.
Russ McCamey from McCamey Manor. You ever heard of that place?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a haunted attraction where basically it's a 24-hour torture. I mean, it's horrible.
Actually, I think I have heard about this. Did they make a movie about it? A documentary or something, I think?
Yeah, they made a
I've
documentary.
heard about it. Yeah. I've heard about it. I'm big into horror stuff, so that's probably why I'm a sicko. But
Oh, yeah. The people who did Clown Motel 3, or Clown Motel 1, 2, and 3, they're coming out with 3 shortly.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah. And I've had some really cool horror people. I had Sadie Katz from, I think she was in Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, really cool.
And who else? I've had Jan Birch from People Under the Stairs. Doug Ferret, he played young Michael in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Got you. Cool. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've had some really cool people.
That's awesome.
But my motto for this show is everybody's got a story.
100%.
Yeah,
I agree completely.
Yeah. So, what kind of guitar do you like to play? What's your favorite one? If you had 300 of them in a room right now, and you could just take one, what's your favorite guitar?
So, I mean, I think as a guitar player, a lot of time it's kind of like a quest. It's like you haven't found it yet. I have the one I like that is my favorite guitar I have currently, or whatever it might be, because every single guitar is unique in its own way. You could put two, Gibson Les Pauls right next to each other, and you play them both, and you can as a guitar player, there's something different as a guitar. It's like, sure, every car is the same, but every now and then you'll meet that one guy who's had the one Toyota Tacoma that's never broke down, that's lasted him forever. He's never had to fix anything other than basically, it's just something about that car, right? So I think guitars are kind of the same way, but I really lean towards Gibson guitars. I always have since I was a kid. When I was coming up, I was like a classic rock junkie when I was little. My dad would be playing classic rock in the car, and so I would kind of listen to the different, I would see the different guitars that guys were. I would get Guitar World magazine and look up videos, and I would see the different guitars guys were playing, and then I would kind of associate it with their sound, and I'd be like, oh, well, Eric Clapton and Jimi Hendrix and David Gilmour, they're playing this guitar, and I can hear how it sounds. A Stratocaster kind of Fender Stratocaster kind of sounds like this guitar. So I always kind of lean more to the kind of the darker, heavier side, Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, and so I naturally kind of went towards Gibsons and Les Pauls. And then when I was little, the first favorite guitar player was Slash from Guns N' Roses, and so I really became a Les Paul junkie. So I love Les Pauls, but then I also really love kind of being a little bit more unique as a guitar player. Like I want a guitar that kind of maybe it's not being used as much. So I really love Gibson Explorers, Gibson Flying V's, the kind of a little bit out there shapes, and I like them in bright colors, just trying to stand out from the crowd. And that's kind of what I'm really into. I'm kind of I'm on the quest for the guitar that people wouldn't expect me to play, and then that be my guitar. So I have a Jackson Flying V. That's kind of my newest one. I really like that one.
I play a little bit. I can chicken pick, but I've always been a big guy. I've got huge hands, and I'm actually about to pick it back up because I've lost 70 pounds in the last 6 months.
Oh, congrats, man!
But so my hands, I believe I can do the chords a little bit better now. But
having big hands is important. Go look at Jimi Hendrix. Look at most of the best guitar players. The one thing they all have in common is they have really big hands. Something about it translates to playing the instrument really well. Yeah.
Well, I've had all kinds. I had a Gibson once. I've had Epiphones and Squires and all that. I had a Fender. And my favorite guitar I ever had, I found in a pawn shop. It was made by a company called AXL, and it was a knockoff of Fender's Road Warren Telly. It had the wormwood and all that beautiful guitar, but it was the best playing guitar I ever had, and I kicked myself in the ass for ever getting rid of it.
I think every guitar player has the story just like that. Hey, I thought I wanted something else. I traded it in or sold it to get something else, and then now that was 20 guitars later, and you're always kind of on that quest. Like I said, the quest. But I have a it's a Japanese knockoff of a Gibson Les Paul Custom, and it's by a company called Burny, Burny. But in the 70s and 80s, they were making knockoffs of Gibsons that were basically you couldn't tell the difference, but the price point was insanely cheaper because you're not paying for that Gibson name. Like the Gibson name cost $1,000 off the top, right? That's just for the logo. So I have one that's the Randy Rhoads Les Paul Custom, which is kind of like one of my dream guitars. So I have a Bernie version of that, and I think I got it for like maybe $650 off a used, and it's from like 1991, I'm pretty sure. So and it plays like same thing, like it plays like a dream. It's still my main guitar. I probably play the most. And it's so reliable. It sounds so good, and it's physically so heavy. It's like a 15-pound guitar. It's just dense, and so that really comes a lot with like what the tone sounds like, and I love it. And the fact that kind of Randy Rhoads is also one of my all-time favorite guitar players, and that was when I was dreaming. So I play that a lot, and then I have a Gibson Les Paul. Gibson Explorer. I play a lot. And lately, like I said, I've been trying to get a little bit more out there. So I got this like bright blue BC Rich Mockingbird. And those are just like BC Rich guitars. They're wild shaped. And the next one I think I want like is a Dean ML, like what a Dimebag Darrell from Pantera always used. It's kind of like it's almost like an X shape, but I'm just like something that's out there that you don't see, because you see Strats and Les Pauls and Telecasters. Every show you go to, you're going to see one of those guitars pretty much. But I like to do something a little bit left of center.
I think the best guitar I've seen, or the nicest looking guitar I've ever seen, George Pahone from the Black Eyed Peas. I was doing a show with him, and he's an awesome guy. We talked for about 3 hours. I had to break that episode up. It was so long. But Gibson kept trying to get him to play the guitars, and he just doesn't. I think he's PSE. PSE's Bose. You know the one I'm talking about.
PRS?
PRS, yeah. Duh. PSE's a damn bow. But they would bring him guitars to the shows. Hey, try this one. Here, you can have this one. And he would take it, but he wouldn't play it on stage. And he showed me one that they brought him. It was a $25,000 Les Paul that was just encrusted with different jewels. It was beautiful.
Crazy.
But he said it is unbelievably heavy. He's never played it on stage either, but he's still got it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, like if we haven't played it in a little bit, or I've been using, let's say I've been using maybe a different guitar, and I put that Les Paul back on, you feel it. You feel it in your back. You know, give it a half hour, and you'll take the guitar off, and you'll be like, oh man, like yeah, it's no joke. You have to kind of like condition yourself. It's like weightlifting. Like you can't just hop back on the bench and just put up what you did in high school. Well, you got to put that Les Paul on a couple hours a week, or you're going to lose those muscles in your back to support it. And that's why a lot of guys, you know, as they get older, you'll see guitar players stop using Les Pauls and start using maybe Fender guitars or Strats or things that are just easier on the body, because it wears on you having a heavy guitar like that. But you just got to keep that muscle up and muscle going. And I really I like the heavier it is in my mind. Like I love it, sounds better in my opinion. And I just never have gotten the Strat to sound the way I want it to. I get like when I hear John Mayer play it, or you know whoever it might be, Yngwie Malmsteen or Eric Clapton, or name everyone, millions and millions of great guitar players use Strats. But to me, I just can't get it to do what I want it to do. And it's that kind of darker guitar.
Yeah, I never fell in love with a Strat. I love the sound of them, but I'm like, I can't make it sound like I want it to.
Yeah,
I'm a Telly guy.
And Stevie Ray Vaughan, God bless, like sounds one of the best guitar sounds I've ever heard. But it doesn't sound like that to me, and I don't know. I can't get it to do that, and it just doesn't fit what I'm trying to do as an artist. I kind of really like that low end and that kind of grit. That those kind of like, you know, mahogany body Gibson guitars and PRS, I'm sure very, very similar to like that. And I'm also like, the reason why I like my Bernie Les Paul so much is because, you know, I paid $650 for it. To me, it plays like a Les Paul custom. Like I feel like I have a $4,000 guitar, but if something happened to it, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I would be sad. I'd be heartbroken. But like if someone stole it, whatever. Now, if your homeboy you talked about brought that $25,000 guitar on the road and it gets stolen, he's like, oh my God, that's like getting your car stolen, right? It's like, it's crazy. So you got to pretty much leave it at home. It's not even worth bringing out. So now I'm like, well, if I have this guitar that's too expensive and I can't even go play show, I don't want to play shows with it because I'm scared about something happening to it, then I probably just don't need it at this point until I become like a collector maybe. But I like to have all my guitars be somewhat functional, like that I can go play at a show. So I really try to sit around like the $1,000 max price point. I feel like that's the balance of like a really good quality guitar that you're also like can be replaceable. It's not irreplaceable, and it's not you can fix it if something happens to it, but it's going to be really reliable and sound really good.
Yeah. You ever heard of a guitarist named Monty Montgomery?
Maybe.
He is a guitar god. I mean to tell you, he plays an acoustic electric Alvarez. He calls it Excalibur. It's the only guitar he ever plays.
Wow.
And he's broke the neck like 4 times on. He plays so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But he did a cover of Romeo and Juliet, and the solo on it's 11 minutes long.
Yeah.
And he's the only guitar on stage when he does it live. And at one point, it sounds like there are 3 people playing at the same time.
Crazy.
And he is just amazing. And one thing you don't know is about 10 years ago, I had 2 strokes.
Wow.
Gave me a really bad stutter, and it just did a lot of things. And I was out in my cook shack one day cleaning guns because that centers me some. And I was listening. I think I had Five Finger Death Punch playing loud as I could. And I decided I wanted to hear that song, so I played it. And I realized I was singing along to it perfectly. Mm-hmm. So my wife was walking around in the yard. We live in the country. We got a huge yard. So I started waving her over, and she thought something was wrong. And I got to give her the first clear I love you in 4 months because of that song.
Yeah.
So I sent him a message and told him the story. And, I still wasn't able to work. And it was about 4 days before my birthday, and my phone rings one morning. It said Texas. I'm like, who in the hell do I owe money to in Texas? Because I owed everybody then. Mm-hmm. So I picked it up. So, this is Brad. I'm like, yeah, who is this? He said, this Monty Montgomery. I'm like, what? I woke up real quick. And he said, I got your message. He said, I was just going to send you a message back, but I had to hear the voice, and I'm glad I did. And we talked for about 30 minutes.
That's really cool, man.
And just a great guy. He knows he can play. He knows he's great, but he's one of those don't let it go to his head, and I love that about people.
Yeah, of course. And I'm glad to hear you're doing better, man. That's awesome, man. It goes to show really like the power of music, man. It's real. It's wild. And people kind of take music for granted and don't truly get it. And it takes moments like that sometimes to truly have the appreciation for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have patients. We'll take patients from the hospital up to Atlanta that need to be transferred, and they're at the worst moments of their lives. And I'll break out my Bluetooth speaker and ask them, "What do you want to hear?" Mm-hmm. And they'll just say something off the wall, and I'll just start playing it. And it makes their trip a whole lot better and gives them a few minutes to take a breath and okay, it's going to be all right. We've got Conway Twitty, here.
For sure.
But yeah, but no, man, I love music. It's anything I can do to make people smile, I love doing. Mm-hmm. I don't have a guitar right now. Well, I do, but it's messed up. I've got to get a new bridge pickup. It's a Squire, and it's a clone of a 72 thin line Telly, and it's mahogany. And it was great. I love it. I found it in a pawn shop for I think $100.
Nice.
And it plays really well. And I looked at the serial number, and it's actually made by the same company that made my favorite one, that Axel AXL.
Oh, really cool.
But I've got to get another pickup. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, usually on those guitars like Squires, that's kind of where they I wouldn't say like where the money is saved is usually in those electronics, right? So if you get a Squire and it's like built, you can tell that the craftsmanship is okay, good enough on it. You replace the pickups and the wiring with something a little bit upgraded, and you're not too far off from like a true, American Fender guitar, right? That's really where most of those savings comes in, is they just use cheaper pickups from China versus some of the like hand wired ones. So, you buy that guitar, then you wait a couple of years and you just upgrade the pickups, and all of a sudden it's a whole new beast.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you another one I'd like to have is one of the cigar box guitars a guy named Tim Trimble makes. Mm-hmm. I've watched a couple of his videos, and he hand winds all his pickups, and he just makes really beautiful instruments, and they sound really good.
Yeah.
Odds are I'll never be able to make one sound like he does, but that's all right.
I mean, I saw a video of Zach Wild playing like a Hello Kitty Walmart like $80 guitar,
Yes.
and he's just shredding like it was his signature guitar. It's like it's a lot of times like tone comes from the fingers, and a lot of people that's the darkest kept secret in the guitar world, because guys like you and me are always chasing that next piece of gear. That's going to be the one.
Yep.
Versus probably just get to practice in the one you have, and you'll probably get to where you want to be faster.
Yep. I am a gear whore big time. I remember when the that Pocket Beam came out, the Line 6 thing.
Yep.
I was like, this is going to replace so many pedals, and that is a cool piece of gear. But you got to have a decent pedal board if you're going to do it.
Yep. We switched to like the new thing is kind of like, especially like professional musicians are kind of all switching to these like digital amps and modelers. And profilers. So we have a Kemper, which is a profiler. Basically, it's like a computer on a pedal board, and you hook it up to any amp. So you can hook it up to like a Marshall JCM 800, and it will send signals through it and analyze the insides of the amp, and then store all that, and then kind of recreate it. And so you can say, I want to play a JCM 800, and it's not just like a computer's interpretation of it. It's like they actually send. It's that specific JCM 800, because every amp is just like we talked about guitar. Every tube amp is a little bit different. So you can kind of profile it, and then these guitarists can go on the road and have their entire arsenal of amps and pedals and everything just in this box. And then people can't tell the difference. You can't really tell the difference, especially at a big show on big speakers. So we switched to that because it's just, one, it's so reliable and consistent. It sounds exact same every time. And two, it saves us from having to lug around huge pieces of equipment. And then three, those tube amps, they can be really expensive and fragile, and they're collector's items too. So a lot of people don't want to be risking bringing those on the road and then falling off stage or getting dropped or someone stealing it. So that's pretty much, you go to these music festivals these days, you'd be surprised. It's all digital, these digital amps now, because no one can tell the difference. And at the end of the day, it saves everybody time and effort and money. And they're rad. They're really cool.
Oh yeah.
I think Line 6 makes one called the Helix. That's like the Line 6 version, and that's really wild.
Yeah. Yeah. And I used to have one made by Fender. I can't remember the name of it though. But it was when they first started the modeling amps.
Yep. Everyone has one at this point. Kemper is one of the first like profilers. The big ones I know now are Line 6 is really popular. The Helix. There's one called that's a Quad Cortex, the Kemper, and the other one's called an Axe Effects, AXE, like Axe Effects. Those are really popular. And you go look at if you go watch like rig rundown videos, if you're a sicko like I am, and you watch I want to see what Green Day's bringing on tour, what amps they're using on tour, and you go watch the rig rundown videos, you'll see everyone's using digital amps now. Everyone switched to it. They might bring one real amp, but that is mostly all the digital stuff now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of tour, I know y'all are fixing to start a tour, and you got an album coming out. Tell me where are you going to tour at?
So we have a tour starting on Monday, which is fun. It's not like our longest one, but it's a fun little summer run. We're like you. We still have 9 to 5 jobs too, so we got to kind of find the time to make it work. But we're starting in Nashville, Tennessee, and then we're going over to Charlotte, down to Atlanta. Hopefully see you there. And then we're going to do a few dates in Florida. And then we're going up all the way over to Texas, doing shows in Texas. And then on the way back, we're going to hit Little Rock, Arkansas, and in New Orleans. So should be a fun little run. We're doing about I think 11 shows in 2 weeks. So it should be pretty. It's intense when you're doing those that many back to back. And it's going to be hot and sweaty the way we like it. Texas, Florida, all the southern states. So it's kind of like the heat wave tour. So we leave for that on Monday, and that's the same day our new album comes out, which we're really excited about. It's our first album we're releasing since 2021. It's been a long journey to get to this point. We wrote a lot of music, and the reason why it kind of took this long was we released our last album, and that day we were in the studio recording a lot of this music, and we wanted to have 2 albums worth of material recorded so that by the time we're done with this one and promoting it and touring it, we're going to be immediately able to jump back in and have another album that's going to be already finished and good to go. So now we're now thinking about going and working on some new material. We've been working on this material for 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, if you wind up doing a song about propane, I'll tell you what, I can be your lead vocalist, man.
Oh yeah. God dang it, Bobby.
Well,
Love
if you
it.
do a song about popsicles now. Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I love that voice, but it tears my throat up.
I bet. I feel it. But we're really excited. But really excited to be getting out there playing the shows, playing some new songs we've never played before. Hoping meeting a lot of new people. A lot of people like you are discovering us on TikTok every day, and they'll say, "Come to Atlanta, come to Charlotte," and we'll be like, "Well, actually, here you go." And we'll send them the ticket link, and then boom, see them in a couple weeks. So, if anyone out there hears this and is any of those cities, come check us out. We'll have fun. We'll grab a beer. Come see us at the merch table. We'll have a good time. Our shows are a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I wish I could figure out the TikTok algorithm. Because I just do stupid little videos. I'll tell dad jokes, that kind of crap. I think my biggest one has been like 2,000 hits.
Hey, it's not bad, man. It's not bad. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. We've been doing it for years, and we're still figuring it out. And what we kind of reserve ourselves to is, if no one truly knows. If you try to like gamify it's tough to make it consistent. But at the end of the day, if you're having fun making the content you're making it for you, then that's going to help you be consistent, and consistency is what wins. Is you start developing an audience because they like the couple silly things you do, and you keep feeding those people, and then the algorithm learns from those people and finds a few more. But if you're constantly making content for other people, you're never going to please the masses. But if you're doing it for yourself, you're going to be consistent. And when you're consistent, then it's easier for the algorithm to find people. So that's kind of what we learned is like, if we're not having fun, we shouldn't be making those videos or doing whatever it is. It should always be fun. It should always, if we are trying to be funny, we should think it's funny first. If we don't think it's funny, we shouldn't post it.
Exactly. And what's funny, the little things change it, because I know if I'm wearing my black hat or this hat, I get good hits. If I'm wearing my gray one or a brown one, I get some hits, but not as many. It's weird, just that little difference.
I've heard things about like high contrast, like light and dark. So I think there might be something to that. Like obviously, like high contrast videos tend to work well. So if it's like something dark with something really bright in the foreframe, or vice versa, it tends to work. But it seems like they're changing that dang thing so often, no one can really keep up. And if you go try to listen to advice, you're going to hear 10 different things from 10 different people. So at the end of the day, it's just do it for you first, and the rest kind of falls into place. But yeah, it's just we just try to be entertaining. And sometimes we'll post something, it'll get 200, or sometimes we'll get 200,000. We've had that happen. We've had videos that are just us being silly and has nothing to do with our music get 1 million views. But it's really just, I say consistency is the thing. Try to post one thing a day, even if you're just throwing stuff at the wall or something, but try to just be consistent with it.
Cool. Well, tell everybody where they can find y'all at. So, and I'm going to put it in the show notes too.
Yeah. At We Are Felicity. So our handle is We Are Felicity. And we say that because, not just us, the band, We Are Felicity, but everyone who listens to the band, everyone who supports this, you're all part of the Felicity family. So we collectively, we are all Felicity. And our band name is Felicity because our message is, do what makes you happy. And Felicity means happiness. And to us, it's making music. But to you, it could be doing a podcast, or it could be racing cars, or playing bass, or whatever it might be. So whatever it is in life you're doing, do what you got to do to pay the bills. But always be chasing that dream, chasing the thing that makes you happy. Because if you just stick to that, that's the true path to a fulfilled life. So that's kind of the message we want to have. And so we make it at We Are Felicity. We Are Felicity on all platforms. WEAREFELICITY.
Well, very cool. Well, man, I'll tell you, I've had a blast doing this today, and you're welcome back on here anytime.
Hey, man, next time we got something coming out, we'll link up and we'll run it back, and I'll try to get a couple more of the guys in here too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cool.
Well, cool.
I appreciate you having me on, and I'm honored to be the first episode back. Can't wait to see what you do next, and let's keep in touch. And